Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Lynndy and I'm just going to jump straight into it. I've been asked if we could actually do some immune system boosting, and so this week we're going to be covering our Thrive in 5. Today we're going to be covering number 1, which is going to be sleep parameter, and the rest of the week we're going to be covering the other portions of it. So let's get right into sleep, because let you know how important sleep is. Number 1 right off the bat. Help the body repair itself. So in general, when you're sleeping, your cells are producing protein, and the more protein you produce, protein goes towards recovery and the building blocks of the body. So your body's made up of proteins, so it's going to use that extra protein to actually heal itself in those processes. So you don't get the sleep, you can't actually heal as well. So try and get that sleep in there. Reduction of stress. So when you actually have an increase of stress, you actually have a sympathetic response, which increases your blood pressure. An increase of blood pressure can actually affect and cause more chances of having heart attacks, if not strokes. That can also help to increase your stress hormones in your body. And you have an increase of stress hormones, that can potentially affect your sleeping pattern, so you might not be able to get your sleep because you actually can't get the rest. So you want to try and boost that stuff up a little bit so you don't deal with the stressing aspects. Now, if you look at the inflammatory responses, it's the same kind of thing. Where you have an increase of stress, you increase your cortisol levels. Cortisol will increase blood sugars. You have an increase of blood sugar, that can go in effect and cause problems with more blood sugar increases you're dealing with. You can actually increase your chances of cancer, if not diabetes. Now, they've also been, researchers have been thinking that the inflammatory responses have been shown to actually have a degenerative effect into the body as we age. So I think that inflammation is one of the reasons that we actually degenerate the body. But we're not going to get into the science of that sort of stuff. We're definitely not covering telomeres today. So don't even ask me about that. So number 4 here, covering sleep makes you more alert. So get that energy in there. If you're not feeling so energized, get the sleep in there, get more ability to get more alert and more functional. Sleep improves your memory and napping. So in which case the napping improves your memory also. So when we're looking at the sleep aspects, when you're sleeping and doing your deep sleep, we actually have this stuff called sleep consolidation. So your body will take anything you've been dealing with, your emotions, your sensory inputs, your events, your physical activities, and your memories, and it's going to put those all together in some sort of easy, understandable parameter so you can re-access that information later on. But if you don't actually have the ability to store it properly, you're not going to retrieve it that well either. So try and get that in there to get the consolidation in there for the mapping out of those sort of things, get your brain processing better. Also helps out with neuroplasticity, which is increasing the brain's ability to get bigger, stronger, build those schemas up so we can actually get better patterning and our brains get smarter. So that's another thing we're going to be looking at there. Now, napping aspects, research has shown that if you actually have about an hour of sleep a day, not only is it a good adjunct towards taking caffeine in the afternoon, but at the same point, you have a 4 to 6 time increase of mental acuity than if you didn't nap as long. So keep that in mind right there. Now, when you look at the reduction of the risk of depression, losing weight, or helping you prevent cancers, a lot of chemistries get affected when you actually don't have enough sleep. One of those ones when we're looking at the depression aspects right here is serotonin. Serotonin helps to deal with depression, so you don't have enough sleep, you won't make it as much serotonin, you won't be able to actually combat that depression aspect so much. So in which case you're looking at losing weight, you got ghrelin, you got leptin. These are hormones that your body deals with to regulate your appetite, so you don't get enough of those hormones in there. You can actually have imbalanced appetite abilities, in which case maybe lead towards overeating and maybe lead to increased weight, maybe obesity that way. At the same point, if you're looking at the anti-cancer effects right here, you're looking at things like, say, the melatonin in general. Melatonin has been linked with light. So you have an increase of light, you have a decrease of melatonin in the body. This is why it's talked about. You should actually have deep sleeps in dark environments, not having electronic devices on or anything at that point, because of what it does is it actually affects your ability to actually get that deep sleep in there and get that recovery aspects going on there. At the same point, melatonin has been shown to actually have prevention of cancer abilities by suppressing tumor growth. How's that for nice little bonuses of getting more sleep, right? And then the last one we're talking about, keep your heart healthy. In chiropractic, what we start talking about nerve function from the lower neck down for the upper thoracic up right here. This area starts to deal with the heart and lungs, a lot of other things also. But when I start talking about nerve function, I want your brain sending good signals down to the body and your body to the brain in a two-way transmission. If that's in there, your body's working good. If it's not working good, then you get imbalanced signals, like your arm on a chair effect. Put your arm on a chair, leave it here for a while, something weird's going to happen to my arm. Numbness, weakness, tingling, pain turn blue. Those are symptoms. So if I take my arm off the chair, it tends to go back to normal. So if we have nerve irritated here, that can cause problems down in our limb. We could actually have nerve irritations here that go into the glands and organs also. So if you want to try and get that heart boosted up and everything, keep the stress levels down in the body, help to get the brain function from your brain to the body and the body to the brain, that two-way transmission, all those things that help boost it up by getting that sleep in there. So if you liked what you heard here today, give us a little thumbs up. If you got family, friends that suffer from these things, send this video out to them too, so they can actually help to boost up that immune system also. And we'll catch you tomorrow for diet. We'll see you then. Have a good night.